this isn't to plug Empower Network. What I want to do is get inside your head of how you view yourself compared to that room full of rock stars we were just with. You're one of them.
Right.
So there's 4,000 people in the room. I want to give some perspective.
That's right.
4,000 people travel to an event down here in Texas. Now, most of them have blue. The top 200 have red, but then the top 35 have black. So that's, I mean, Stone is among the very, and the company, when they say 80,000, is that active?
80 members, I believe.
So,
yeah.
Out of 80,000 people, top 35 got here. So where do you see, among the 35, where do you see yourself falling over the next either 90 days, a year? Like, what's your vision for, and I know we can apply this to other companies, but because we have perspective here, I'd love to see how you think about that. Like, do you always go for number one? What's your...
My intention with Empower Network is to be one of the top 10 financial earners in the company long term. I think I can enter that realm in the next 90 days. I will be going to Chicago, to the next event.
Yep.
So now, this is my plan, and in order to achieve that, truly, I must grow a lot.
Yeah.
And, I've done a lot in the affiliate marketing space with all of these tools, and I earn 5 full-time livings, right, from 5 different affiliate programs. And that system allows me to do that really without talking to anybody, right? That's what Plug and Profit Site can do. Without team meetings, without webinars,
without events.
Without events. And so, my skill set and my comfort zone is in the realm of working with my little black box, which happens to be a Mac PowerBook now or whatever, so it's not quite black. It works better than other computers I've tried. And plug, yeah. But my skill set and comfort level is in that world of working on my computer, developing systems, developing communication in the email space. I have not even I've done very little with video.
Yeah.
Having my, most people know me through the picture they've seen for over a decade now.
Yes.
And so, so this system, again, it's about, it doesn't have to be extremely fancy, right? It doesn't have to use the latest technology. You use the technology that you know how to use, that you can learn how to use, and that works. And so far, my system is employing all the tactics, all the technologies that work really well for me, right? And that I can efficiently set up for others. And they're easy to learn once it's all set up for you, so that it's manageable, it's doable, and it can produce consistent results. I know within that, there are new technologies. And video is not a new technology, it's just something I've been so focused on core components, because an autoresponder and getting the right golden sequence in place, and the right programs, and the right structure of a website, and on what platform it's operating on, and then the training to go with that meets a member every step of the way, and doesn't overcomplicate, keeps it simple, plug in, profit. That's the vision. So video is becoming part of that for me now. I'm now creating new funnels for the Plug and Profit site that include video. I anticipate our video conversation here today will become part of a new funnel. And so as the system is working really well, we're adding auxiliary components to it that will only enhance that. So the thing you asked me is, what is my vision for being here, Empower Network? Where will I be? I've only now plugged really Empower Network into the Plug and Profit site system, gotten fully committed, got everything aligned with our golden sequence, the strategic placements of promotions and the advertisements in the right way on the website, these kind of things. So this is all really brand new. So now the system is set up. to expand that. So my income will continue to grow here, and I'll be a top 25 leader, right? Probably, what I think, if that's all I do,
Yeah.
right? I'll probably be in that. But even though what I do kicks ass on the internet, in its simplicity, and can drive me on a consistent basis to that level of, top 25 in an entire company of what will soon be well over 100,000
Yes.
active members. If I want to be top 10, that's not going to do it, right? I don't think that'll do it.
Yep.
And if I want to help a bunch of people, if I want to help even 10 people be in the top 100, now I can help legions of people, make a full-time income in Empower Network by sitting with their computer at home, at their kitchen table, and never going anywhere,
Yeah.
right? Because that's the power of Empower Network's compensation plan, the funnel they've created, and the effectiveness of the Plug and Profit Site system and training in helping people produce sales and results with this company. We can help a lot of people earn a full-time income, but to move a lot of people into top 100 space,
Yes.
which this company, for me, my vision for myself, I want to be a top 10 leader. I want to be a top 10 earner, which means I'm helping a lot of people earn, significant 10, 20, 30, 40, $50,000 a month from this company. So that's what it takes for me to get to that level. In order to do that, in order to really, go to the next level, go to the level that's possible for me. This is all awesome, but to go to the level that's possible for me personally, in terms of my own skills, like I've mastered a lot of the systems on the internet, and there's a lot of other things I could do, but I come away from this event today, this Empower Network retreat event in Austin, with the sense that these events are powerful. Being able to be pulled aside and do conversations like this that we can video and share, which we can't do this if we're at home in our house,
Right.
at the computer. We can't do this. And this is pretty magical.
Yeah.
And this can have exponential effects in its ability to help people and influence and bring people forward into the business and into success. So this kind of thing, only happens really, it can only happen at an event, a meeting in person. So events allow that, and they allow a lot of training at the same time. That, like, as I've gone through the training, I've learned, I say about 20, there's about 20 action steps. I'm about learning something, and then what am I going to do with that right away? DNA. What am I going to do with it? So there's about 20 of those things, and I've gotten to work. I think I've done about 5 so far, and then I'll keep implementing as I go home. But those 20 action items would not have been action items if I didn't come here.
Right.
Those were only stimulated by listening to the people who are having extraordinary results, greater results than me, similar results than me, but doing things differently. Because every single person we listened to, there was something to learn from them.
Yes.
And I learned as much as I could. And each thing that I learned, I looked for something that I could apply that would make a difference for me and my business and the people that I influence.
Yeah.
So there's a lot to carry forward from this and get started. I do plan now. I'll say this also. There was an Empower Network event previous to this in San Diego, which I bought tickets to. I started with the intent to go. And wussied out would be the Empower Network word. But I spend so much time, I'm so committed to being present with my wife, my kids, and my operation at home that that's my life. And doing anything outside of it, we always do everything together.
Right.
We do extraordinary vacations now. We go, I don't think I've ever missed a pediatrician appointment.
Right.
With my kids, that's my wife and I. The dentist, we kind of are a pack.
Yeah.
So there's separation anxiety
Yes.
for me because I earn my ability to stay and work from home.
Yes.
And with every distraction that comes with every daughter in the lap, working on the laptop, sitting, watching a movie, family time, but me pulling and doing something.
Right.
They're my body,
Yeah.
right? So to move away from them in any capacity is extremely unusual to me.
Yes.
And so that's uncomfortable. So, I ended up, giving myself reasons not to go to San Diego. And the funny thing is, I started to create some momentum with Empower Network in making the decision to go to San Diego and starting to promote. And then my own internal fears and insecurities came up, because even like things like they're going to pull me up on stage and single me out kind of thing, which I don't think I wasn't comfortable with, but I'm moving toward now through personal growth, accepting and getting excited about it. But the thought of those kinds of things, bring up fears and anxieties inside of me. So I gave myself reasons not to go to San Diego and convinced myself not to, and pulled out. And as soon as I did, then the momentum that I had been building with, what it really reflected is my lack of commitment to the company.
Yes.
Right? And with that, I must have changed stuff that I didn't even realize I was changing. Because I had things set up in my sequence. I even think sometimes you can have the same stuff set up, right? But where you are internally will either magnetize or repel, because we are a magnetic universe, the invisible force that runs through everything. As soon as my lack of conviction and commitment changed inside of me, the sales that I was making, stopped being made. I kind of thought they would continue, right?
Very interesting.
Right. Now, I'm not saying you have to go to an event to be fully committed, but I will say that my experience in coming to this event, and honest to God, 10 days ago, I'd been telling my wife for 60 days as I started to find out about the Austin thing, because I live in Dallas.
Right.
So Austin is only a 3-hour drive.
Yes.
I used to live in Austin. So not coming would be the ultimate wussy, right? I'm serious.
It's not going to get more comfortable than this event.
Right.
Because they're going to be all over the country.
Yeah. I don't have to fly, which there's some anxiety there. You just drive down the highway for 3 hours, and it's pretty and, whatever. So, and I've been planning for it, telling my wife this company is very important to me. Even though I didn't go to San Diego, the follow through of this company, in San Diego, they would have given me a big check for $56,000, right, to go up on stage, to honor me, celebrate me, right? And so I wussied out, didn't go, and they still sent the check in the mail to me.
Did they really?
Yeah, without me even, and that's, how honorable is that really?
Yes.
How committed is that of the company? They don't have to do that, right? And then I immediately I just grabbed it in my house, followed up, had my son take a picture with my iPhone in my house, and then at that moment recommitted, because the company had my back. The company showed me that they're going to go the extra mile.
And you didn't even ask them; they sent it.
They sent it. I put that check up on my website. My conviction, my faith, my commitment, reborn, and with it, sales. And with it, a determination to start to find out how to make this really work.
Yes.
Right? That said, I started to make it really work. Started to work much better. Sales started picking up, started to go. Because the other part is that a lot of the affiliate programs I've promoted have all been low commission.
Yes.
Right? Even one that I was earning $40,000 a month, it didn't have extraordinary commissions, not like this, not even close.
Right.
But it had some components that would allow great leverage and great residual.
Yes.
And the affiliate programs in the plug and profit site system that are not in Power Network are generally also, they're low level income opportunities with
Yes.
great residual and duplication potential,
Yes.
but requiring a lot more sales and activity and duplication to generate the full-time income.
Yes.
And we're getting that because that's the system works. But, so what I say about that is that Empower Network offers products that pay you a lot more. They cost a lot more to get involved in. Now, I'm 100% all in, and I have been for a while, which means I bought Inner Circle. Well, I joined basic member, $25. I bought Inner Circle, $100. Costa Rica, $500. 15K, $1,000 or $997.
Yeah.
And Masters Retreat for $3,500. And every step of the way, I'll tell you something else, a little funny story. Every step of the way that you don't fully commit, it'll bite you, but it'll teach you. Like, I was all in up to the 15K level, and then they introduced Masters Retreat,
Yes.
right? But my level of commitment wasn't there.
Yes.
My level of being fully on board and wanting to do everything these guys are telling me was not there. So I wasn't going to go for the Masters Retreat. Then in literally 2 days, I had 2 people that I had already referred who bought Masters Retreat. And you get those emails that say you just missed a $3,000 commission.
Congratulations, you just.
Congratulations.
I
Yeah.
see one from a downline.
Yeah. And
Wow.
so every step of the way that you don't commit, you're going to lose out. You know, the system will teach you that. The system is so, it's almost like perfect justice.
Yeah.
You know, perfect karma. Because as soon as I lost my commitment to go to San Diego, you know, gave myself excuses, things stopped happening for me.
Yeah.
The results were not coming in. When my commitment wavered, so did my results. When I didn't go all in, then other people were going all in, and
Right.
I lost that. And about 10 days ago, after telling my wife for 2 months, you know, here it is on the calendar, I'm going, this is important, these guys look at this check, they're really becoming one of my major income streams here.
Yes.
This is really important to us, and my wife is fully supportive. It's not, you know, she wants me to be a superstar, right? She wants me to be a public superstar. She wants me, you know, to reach my potential. You know, she sees my gifts, she sees the opportunity in me, and she has my back 100%. So there's no like force saying stay here. And
Right.
but about 10 days ago, after all my pledges that this is what I'm doing, my anxiety started to kick in as the event grew close. And despite having a ticket, and despite even doing some incentives for Plug and Profit Site members, that I'm going to be at the event in Austin, so buy your ticket and this kind of thing.
Yes.
I internally caved for about, 3 days. I told my wife, I don't think it's important. I didn't win the contest. I was only going to go if I won the contest. I thought I could win.
Yes.
And, you know, I didn't do very well. I'm not in the top 10.
Relatively.
Right. Yeah. You know, expectations.
Because I was chasing you.
Yeah. So, but that was my, you know, I didn't make it, you know, into that top 10 to get one of those cash prizes. You know, I didn't get my first place $30,000 prize. So, you know, it's really not going to be important for me to go. And so I actually told her, you know, and I deleted it from the calendar, you know, and told her I'm not going. And you know, then it was starting to happen again. You know,
Yes.
what started to happen, I can't say results were exactly changing. You know, it's hard to measure because you never know some days. But there was a period of 3 days where I, you know, was going back on my word to myself first.
Yes.
And then something that's very important to me because, you know, I got lied to a lot by my dad who wasn't there, but when I would hear, I'm going to meet you there, or I'm going to see you, and things like this,
Yes.
you know, and then didn't show up, and then didn't. So one of the things that is important to me, that resonates strongly with me, is the truth and living up to your promises, right? Something that's very important, so something I strive to do, and so it's something when I, you know, making public promises,
Yes.
that's why that can be very important. So telling my wife that I was going to be here, telling some Plug and Prophesy members that I was going to be here, and then internally having my anxieties come up, and then caving, and then it was just so. That was facing my inner demons again. Facing, do I want to go back to work at Domino's, right? Or do I want to embrace my next level, right? My potential. And so somehow, probably because I made my public commitments, I had told my wife several times that this is important to me, I'm going. And then think about what that would do to her, even if it doesn't do anything to her. If you go, this is what he kept saying that's what he was going to do. And then at the last minute he changed his mind, he didn't do it. Right? That puts doubt. It decreases the strength of one's word,
Yes.
of one's commitment. So those things started to, because of my public declarations and anything I say to my members, then these are my bonds. And if I break that, then I'm in trouble, right? And so even though I started to break it, as I did, then those elements of my character, things subconsciously that make me who I am about keeping the promises,
Yes.
right, started to override, the anxiety. And it happened through the course of dreaming, going to sleep, waking up, seeing a new day, reading another email from the days, or something. The process, but ultimately it's not about what anyone out there does. It's about what your declarations are to yourself, and the accountability that you have with others, if you've made a commitment. And because that's important to me, because that's one of my core values, I believe that those things carried me above my anxieties, and through them, and brought me here. And I have grown a lot, through this process. Even doing this conversation, is there's a lot. This is very spiritual to me. This is very, we're doing a lot of connecting. We're doing a lot of. This is special to me to have this conversation with you, and that it can be videoed and shared, and that's because I have been a systems person, a marketing person, and a lot of people know me through a picture, right? But they don't know me.
Right.
They haven't, other than some text and emails and some simple things that people know.
Yes.
I've not exposed myself, this way, this much. And what coming to events does, it will make you, I think, in different ways. I have my own anxieties. A lot of people would love to go to a hotel somewhere fun. I mean, the events are fun, it's a big party, and it's a lot of learning, it's a lot of connecting, and there's extraordinary people. So for a lot of people, those aren't the anxieties they're going to face.
Right.
They're going to face different ones.
Right.
And, for some people, it can be as simple as the anxiety is, this company actually, if I follow the plan, it actually will make me not have to have a job anymore. And you know that that's a major anxiety. Like, the reality is that the person gets it. This company will, I don't have to have a job after this. If I just follow their plan, it's real. And that's like someone who is overweight being attached to being overweight because they're comfortable there.
Yes.
Because there are plans that some people follow and do lose weight, but they find that when they do, they're uncomfortable and go back, because being thin exposes their vulnerabilities, and being overweight for some people is a cover.
Yes.
And this, in Empower Network itself, without Plug-in Profit Site, without anything else, Empower Network, anybody can join this system, follow their plan, make a full-time living, and quit their job. I don't know what in order. They could quit their job, join Empower Network, any way you want to go, but this program can definitely earn anyone, I believe, who follows their plan a full-time income and make them not have to have a job anymore. But
Income disclaimer.
right here. So, but the truth, I know it in my heart, I know it,
Yeah.
is that itself is the anxiety that a lot of people will face. In that the truth is, they wouldn't know what to do without having to have to go to work. And that's just way too, that's why, you know, they wouldn't know what to do with that. And so when they're faced with that reality, that possibility, then that anxiety will keep a lot of people from coming to the event. You know, that will keep a lot of people from going home. And because they don't really, deep down, they're not comfortable with making that change. I wasn't comfortable coming to this event. Because the fact is, for me to come here requires me to go through my discomforts and grow. The good thing about Empower Network, the great thing about Empower Network, is it's Empower Network. The whole system is designed to empower you, to support you, to train you. I mean, the level of trainers and things they're doing for the leaders and members, all of us, to train us through our anxieties, whatever they may be, so that we develop the skills, so that we can actually let go of those things that we're holding on to, which can literally be a job, can literally be, for me, you know, you have to be able to let go to move to those levels. And the good thing is they're providing the training, the support to do that.
Yep.
So the value, you know, of coming to an event is you see that. You know, you feel it. You have the conversations that show you, that's what about social proof is. It's showing you that it's real. You know, it's showing you that it is working. That guy really was a construction worker, you know, 6 months ago. And now he earned $300,000 this year. Part-time, because he was still doing that. And so the social proof shows you, and over and over and over and over in different walks of life, you see all of these people having these extraordinary results and breakthroughs. And so that starts to, what it does, it gives you a framework. If you have that anxiety about not wanting to let go, about, oh my God, what would I do if I didn't have a job?
Yeah.
You know, even though people think that's their dream, right? To not have a job, the fear is, what would I do without one?
Well, and they think about things like, I would have to pay insurance. What will I do? Because I hear it, my friends and my teachers all the time.
So all of those things. And but coming to an event allows you to have the conversations and see the framework for what life is actually like if you do let go and move forward. You know, it's almost like, so that's part of what I see. And to you know, bring that to a conclusion is, in your question, part of my growth, what is my vision? You know, I do now, and I didn't before, you know, because I do now see myself at the next event speaking on stage, you know, sharing and teaching something that I have, you know, probably some parts of what we've been able to talk about today, because I think that some parts of this will be messages that I can harness and deliver and be helpful to the next grouping that comes together in Chicago and future groupings. And so doing that, you know, makes me have to face my social anxieties of really getting to know the top leaders and Dave and really, you know, being on all of that stuff. We all have different baggage and different doubts, beliefs, whatever it is. So, and getting on stage, which was always in my mind, something I was afraid of, you know, especially public speaking. But I think I actually believe strongly I have great gifts for it, you know, and to not use that is to cower. It's to, you know, it's to be a wussy. That's the thing, to not realize your full potential, you know. And this environment will allow me, you know, to grow into more of my full potential, so that I can use it within this environment and outside of this environment.
Yes.
And so I'm embracing that vision now, that I am a communicator and a speaker, and that I can help people in this way.
And I think, Stone, people need your message because, so on my team, some people more attracted to Rob Ford or to Tony Rush or to Dave Wood or to whoever.
Right.
They hear a message from that person and for whatever reason there's a deep connection.
Right.
Like we're having a connection
Right,
here.
right.
There are people in that room that when they hear Stone Evans talking with your background, your experiences, and the way you communicate, they're going to connect with you more than anybody else, and they will have a breakthrough only if you get up there to speak.
That's true.
So you also have a responsibility to other people, and some of those people will actually be your team too.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. You're exactly right. So, and that's what.
And that's why you must overcome.
That's why I must overcome, and I'm confident the same is true for you and many others. You know, so we must bring our gifts out to shine in whatever form those takes. But and you come to start to peel away the layers, you know, of the onion, and start to see more clearly, you know, who you are. That's really, it's beyond Empower Network. This is an environment that fosters that potential, you know, and will allow me, I believe, and many of us to grow within this environment. But I like to extend it because it's really about how you're growing in your life and what you do during, you know, outside, after all of this. This is training, you know, this is development. So
Well, and I appreciate, I didn't know how many events you'd been to. I haven't seen a lot of video, but I did know from co-colleagues of ours that, you know, one of them who was pretty involved with you had never had a phone call. It was all email stuff.
Yeah.
And another one, owner of a company,
yeah,
had, I think you just had one lunch or so. I don't know, maybe there's more things than that. But I really appreciate you, first of all, being honest about your insecurities about coming here, where you're at. I think that's really, there's so many people. My sponsor felt exactly like you did.
Right.
And it was a huge stretch for him to come here.
Right.
He actually has such anxiety, he had to take like 3 drugs just to be on the plane.
Wow.
Because he would have been puking the whole way.
wow,
And he's all natural as this Kung Fu guy, so those are big sacrifices.
yeah,
But he realized the team needed to see him here. And he grew so much. So I just so appreciate how you're not just growing just by coming to this event, you're also growing by doing other things out of your comfort zone, like that
right.
glass eyeball over there.
Yeah.
And I really,
Thank you.
I want to acknowledge that, and it's beautiful to literally see. First of all, for me to learn so many things, because you've been one of my mentors, my idols. This guy, when I first got online, was the definition of success. And you know what's funny? I don't remember when I saw somewhere where you had Robert Allen's book on your site. And you do still, exactly. I instantly related to that because that's the book that brought me back into this industry.
Right.
Because I tried it in '98 and lost $5 grand. I'm like, this is all a scam.
That's right.
But I came back in '06 through that book, and there's just such a connection there, and I wanted that exact life, to hide behind my computer. But then I really realized I love working with people, and it's, in a lot of ways, we're actually different personality types, almost opposite, but there's also in other ways so many things in common. It's very interesting.
Yeah, yeah.
So, well, thank you, Sven. I think
It's been very nice talking with you. This has been a great experience, really. So thank you, you know, for
Good.
bringing out this conversation, for calling me aside, you know, to have this conversation, and you know, you're really skilled at putting this together. Your enthusiasm is infectious, and I will also say that, you know, that's you know, your connection. We've stayed connected, and there's 2 things that were always very meaningful to me in my relationship with you, because you've exposed me to some programs over the years in my journey that I've joined on your team. It's because your selection process in choosing, you know, I don't have time I like to learn from people who found the great things. I didn't find Empower Network. Someone who I trust their judgment, who went in deep, introduced it to me. And I'm here because of that. And then I went in deep, and now I'm introducing it to others. And you went in deep with several programs and introduced them to me that were meaningful parts of my internet career. And I was able to guide people into those programs as well, which was a great benefit to everyone involved. And that was your good judgment and your carefulness and thoroughness, to evaluate programs in those ways and to see the soundness in them before you reach out. You're not somebody who's going out and just shooting off offers off your hip because you find something that looks interesting. But you go in, you go in deep, and if it's real, if it's legit, it has the right potential, then you share that in a meaningful way. And you've always been someone who goes over the top, in your desire to help people, and your engagement with them. That's something. If you put us together over these years, we would have taken over the world in a good way. Because what you do is a lot of the things that I have not. Those are parts of myself that were not developed. That's why I think in many ways, we are those counterpoints, and probably coming together in this conversation, we'll both be able to. This interview, this process, this conversation has pulled a lot of things to the surface for me, and is allowing me to grow just through this process. And so that's because that's because of what you're pulling out of me, and that means that I'm learning through this engagement and getting some of the good qualities of you, and you're bringing those out of me, because each person's good qualities is inside of us. You have good qualities. Those are inside. If I appreciate them, I recognize them because it's inside of me. Right? I may not be displaying it. I may think I not know how to do it, but by interaction, by being together, by honoring and having relationships, then those good qualities that I respect and admire in you start to be developed in me. And that's what I feel right now. So it's a real honor to have this conversation.
And I would also really like to acknowledge, so I knew you were very analytical throughout our past, and I knew you have, I'll tell you what I learned today. Not just that you're analytical, extremely logical, intelligent, I knew all those things. I really saw the side of you today, and maybe a lot of your PIPS members already know this kind of thing. I've never hung out with a true entrepreneur like you, and an innovator. That was a really good word. I've never met a person like you. I've read about some that they can pull the conversation right back to exactly where they knew they had left off, but they went off track for a second to tell something that was going to add massive value. But I can see that in your innovations in your system and how you're able to pull things together in a package to serve people and to put it together. It's just, it was beautiful listening to how the story came together and the change, how you innovated things over time. I never knew any of that side. I thought you were like hammer things together, make this work, get it out to your people. And I didn't realize how actively involved you still are. I learned a lot about PIPS that I never, something I've learned about myself, a lot of outside judgments on things.
Right.
So one of my judgments was there are parts of PIPS that are old, and that's because I just heard random things years ago.
Right.
And so it was completely unfair. And I learned a lot about what's really happening now. I appreciate that. And I'm sure a lot of people learn that as well.
I hope so. That's really great that's out. So this is awesome.
Well, I look forward to, you mentioned about we have some opposite quality. We have a lot in common, we have a lot opposite, kind of like the Dave and Dave in this company.
That's right.
They bring different things to the table, and they grow off each other, and they let each other shine in their strengths. So I am very open to any kind of future things or ways I can serve you, or if
Absolutely. I think
maybe we can go take over the world.
Yeah, definitely. So we'll definitely be able to influence and hopefully bring a lot of good to it. So, I feel this is we've had a relationship for many years, but I think this is a real growth in it, and we're at the beginning with a lot more engagement and contribution. So,
Good deal.
Awesome.
Well, thank you, Stone.
Take care. Thanks everybody for watching.
Take care, guys.